learners, welcome to TryWrite. Today we will be going through a topic static variables and methods. So what is static in Java? The static is a keyword which means belonging to class rather than to instances that refers to objects of the other classes. Static variables or methods are shared by all objects of the class and they are used for memory efficiency and this shared functionality. And now coming to the static variables, here in Java we can have different variables which can be statics. My class, suppose there is a class my class, and there is static variables. This will belong to different of these objects without performing any instances of this object. This variable this variable count will belong to this class. This variable belongs to this class without any specific instances of this class. Because this is static variable, now this is the key point. Shared across all objects. It will be shared across all the objects, and memory is allocated only once. Only once. When we define this as count as 0, it will be shared as only once, and all the value all wherever we will be using this count, all the values will be assigned with 0 only. Often used for common data like counter. Often used for common data like counter. We will be using counter where all these counts will be 0, as I told you. Now moving on to the example for functions. Suppose there is a class student who have static string college, who has a college string college which has a data type string, and this college string is having a string part within double quotes. We will write all the string parts within the double quotes. This college name is ABC college. String the college name is ABC college and the string name. Now we are performing a constructor part here. Now we are making a constructor. Now student having this parameterized constructor having string name, and we will be passing the name equals name. Here we are passing because here we are making a constructor with the student as same name as that of the class, and we are passing a parameter with string n, and that n will be assigned to this name. Now if we are performing a void display function, display method, so we can write system.out.println plus the college name plus the college name that will be assigning here. Because this is the parameter, this is the field which we are passing here, and the college name, this will be the college name. So we will be writing the college name also. ABC will be assigned to the college name, as the college name is already given here, assigned here, ABC college. And now similarly we will be performing different. We are making objects for this class. S1 is the object created, and we will pass Alice of the name of the student. And similarly we can make other object and pass the name of the student as Bob, and calling the object dot display. We can call this method with the help of objects, and we are calling this method. Similarly s2 dot method name, s2 is the object, and display is the method name. Now moving on to static methods. What are a static method? They are the methods which have a static which are static to all the classes, all the methods in the classes. Now suppose there is a class my class. We have a static void greet. We are making here a static method as greet. System.out.println hello. So this can be called without creating an object. We can call this a static method without creating an object. We don't have to create an object for this method. We cannot access non-static method directly. We cannot use them anywhere. If you want to use anywhere in this class or outside the class, we cannot use the non-static method directly. Commonly used for utility and helper method. They are used for utility and for helping methods. Like here we are making a class utility with a class, and int square is the method performed here. This is static, and it has a return type as integer data type, having integer data type, and a square of int x. This is a parameterized constructor, so it will be passing a variable here, int x. And on returning x into x, it will be returning a value x into x, which will be having an integer data type. And when passing this string integer data type, we'll be having a static value that will be passed off in this. Yeah. So int result. So finally having int result equals utility dot square integer int result equals utility dot square. Here we will be following the here we will be calling the result as we will having a variable named as result which is having an integer data type, and we will have we will have the class name dot square the method name, square the method name having the variable having the integer parameter as 5. And similarly, it can display system.out.println result. System.out.println result equals 25. This result will have a value of 25. 5 into 5 equals 25. Now moving on to main methods with static. Why? Main method is static. Why? Every main method public static. So static. Every main method is static. Every main method is static. The main method is static. Must be static. So it must be static. So that Java can call it without creating an object. We need every main method to function because all the functions will be displayed because on the basis of this main method only. So every main method needs to be static, and this method is static. So we static because we don't need to create an object for this for creating. So we don't need to create this object for this main method. Yeah. And coming to this Java JVM looks for a static method as the program entry point. This all these programs will work basis on this static method only. And so the JVM looks for a static method in the program entry point. Now what is the difference between static and non-static? Coming on to the difference, we'll moving on to the it belongs to the static method belongs to the class. Here whatever we have to operate will be having help. It can be done with the help of the object that will be made in the class. And that another non-static. Here we have the object reference. We have to make use of the object reference for using that non-static variable methods in the class. And now memory. For the static method, memory allocated only once. For the static method, for every variable that is defined as static, the memory is created only once, and that will be used each and everywhere for from depending upon the same memory only. Now, for non-static methods, it will for every object per object it will be allocated. For every object we will have to allocate different memory that will be allocated differently for all the objects and access for accessibility. Now, yeah, when we have to access the static or non-static variables, we have the class name. We have the class name for static methods. We have the class name dot the member name, class name dot member name, and for that object for non-static, we have the object name dot member name. Here the static part is static members. They belong to the class. So we have the class name dot members name, and for the non-static part, they belongs to the object of the classes. So we have the object name dot the method name or member name. Now following for the use cases, for the static we have the common, we have the common static logic or shared logic. For static members we have the uses as common, and and the share we have the shared logic. And for non-static members we have the instance or specific logic. We have the specific logic means for every object we will be using different we will be using different of the static objects for according to the instance or specific logic. Now thanks, we'll moving on to the next function next classes.